Hello everyone and welcome to the first challenge run on this channel. With many more to come, and since my gaming journey started with Diablo, it seems fitting for this game to be the first I bend over and slap into compliance. We all know that shields are the first line of defense for any melee character in video games and in history. So today we're flipping the script a bit and seeing if you can beat Diablo 2 with just a shield, and I mean it. So now you might ask yourself, how am I going to do that? Well, to you curious viewer, I've got one thing to say. Smite. It's an interesting skill for a couple of reasons. Mainly because it does not require dexterity. So as long as an enemy is within range, it's an auto hit. That's a blessing in disguise, because even a leisurely stroll from an enemy can put them out of range. And I'll just keep swinging my shield in the air like a penguin trying to take flight. So what are the rules? Well, it's quite simple. Any and all damage has to originate from the shield and magical effects of the shield alone. No mercenaries, no additional skills, and no additional magical effects from thorns and other than shield. If for whatever reason I'll attack anything with my main weapon, I need to restart the attempt on the spot. But how on earth are we going to get that skill? Well, it's quite elementary. We grind. The only way to get any kind of damage out of the shield in the early game is to have thorns on it. So either you're a lucky son of a gun and drop a small shield or a buckler with property, or you're going to drop a chipped skull. When you socket it into a shield, it grants the thorns property. So I started an offline character and began the grind. And it took some time.
One eternity later.
But in the end, I've got what I needed.
Yes! Yes!
After getting my buckler ready for action, I went to get my first level up, so we could start smiting enemies. And straight away I have noticed a problem. The skill costs 2 mana points per hit, and the damage dealt is, well, abysmal, to say the least. For those who want to see the damage formula, I'll leave it on the screen, but let's just say we won't be dealing tons of damage for a long time. But it doesn't matter, we gotta bash some skulls. First on the chopping block was Blood Raven. Despite her being a ranged enemy, as soon as my shield connected with her, the fight was basically over, thanks to stunlock. So as long as an enemy is more or less human-sized, we're golden. But there's no time to celebrate. We've got to go and save the poor lad Deckard. The Tristram encounter wasn't that bad, but Griswold gave us a new kind of problem with his cursing effect. Still, all in all, we managed to smite. Oh, so you're like that. Okay. After that, we went for the countess, to count her with a shield. The encounter wasn't anything special. We just ran up and bashed her in the corner. Then the smith was met with a working end of a spiked shield. And we've got the Horadric Malus, which we are going to use later. With that, we had everything we needed to meet Duriel. The fun part of this run is that each of the bigger or more difficult fights is basically a puzzle to solve. So if I'd rushed on Duriel with reckless abandon, I'd have started my death counter in Act 1, which would be lame. Unfortunately, without any sick drops, we finish Act 1 with hopes for future RNGesus blessings. Lut Golem, a beautiful place, without the stereotypical Arabic soundtrack. And I hate it. Mostly because of the Act 2 boss. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, like all RPG heroes, we dive into the sewers. And here, we met our first death of the run. I hoped to have that moment later, but oh well. No resistances had me flipping on the ground, with a nagging thought in the back of my head about Ball and his magical shenanigans. But after Radamant getting redacted, we could go on a journey to get all of the bips and bops of the lore-based thingy-magic to proceed the story. So we got the Horadric Cube from the dead fingers of the undead in the halls of the dead. We squeezed our way through the Maggot Lair to get the Staff of Kings. And then we went to the Snake Temple to get the Viper Amulet. We put all the ingredients into our thingy-magic, bada bing bada boom, and suddenly we've got the pointy stick, which we'll need to put in a hole later.
Nice.
Finally, after saving the town from a permanent night, Yerhin allows us to enter the palace as a thank you for the possibility of writing 1001 Arabic Nights. And as we enter, we see he's into some really kinky stuff. Not gonna lie, we're not gonna judge, we're here to smite.
Deus vult, Deus vult, Deus vult, Deus vult, Deus vult, Deus vult.
So we enter the Arcane Sanctuary, and PTSD strikes like a truck. But it wasn't the worst part. The worst part was those damn flying ghosts on small platforms. Did I mention that? Smite.
Deus vult.
Oh, that's it. Get over here. So yeah, our Shield Slam pushes enemies away. Yeah, that's a thing. Riveting. And again, I became a victim of narrow ledges. And scored a couple of deaths here. But at least we knew where Duriel was hiding. So we went in with hope to the Valley of Kings. And a fun thing happened. We found the proper tomb on our first try. And despite getting lost a couple of times, we finally found a hole for our stick, which we were dragging around in our Deus Ex cube. And let the ordeal begin. So yeah, Duriel fight was a thing. The worst part, as usual, was the Holy Freeze aura, which made our attacks sluggish, and we died more times due to that than to any other boss in the entire game. But with Duriel defeated, we say hello to Detalis and we go further to Act 3 and Kurast Harbor. So we say hello to everyone and venture forth into the jungle. Nothing of note happens, except for a death from the fangs of Shrak the Burning. But we found the stuff for our weirdest weapon, the Will of Kalim. A bit of a brain from the Spider Cave, the heart from the Flyer Dungeon, and along with a side of Gitbin, we've got Bamboozled. Now, the last time I got to Act 3 without a mercenary was never. So I didn't know that Ashera gives us one lad as a reward. Does that invalidate the run? Sorta, but not really. If you squint a little, you can barely see that the Iron Wolf is conjuring his magic from the shield. But just to be sure, I decided to show him a bit of the world and took him for a close encounter with the desert scarabs. Let's don't talk about it, okay? Anyway, we reached Lower Kurast, which was infested with mosquitoes and such, but thankfully our armor didn't have any gaps, so there was not too much biting. After a gruesome Saura plunge, again, we've got Kalim's Eye, and we were one step closer for the second thingy-magic of the game to progress further. But for the last bit of our weird Kalim-flavored soup, we needed the flail, which was held by the High Council. Usually, I have a bit of a stress attempting to run at them, but not today, because we had our secret weapon, the Holy Shield. So the shield damage doesn't scale well with anything in the game, so we're completely stuck with basic damage in the range of 1 to 6, all the way up to 5 to 9. For regular shields, but we are not so unlucky, because Smite multiplies the damage by 300% of the shield's base damage on max 20th level. Then we've got the auras on top of it, like power, concentration, fanaticism. So the strongest shield in normal difficulty is the spiked shield. The only ones that may outclass it are higher quality shields that sometimes drop in Act 5. So the only saving grace is the Holy Shield buff, because it doesn't only boost our armor, but it adds some base damage, which after applying all the damage multipliers, which are multiplicative, gives us a very high return and makes the run a bit more viable. So the High Council was nothing to talk about. As long as we could take them one by one, as we did throughout the entire run, they were easy pickings. Additionally, for some weird reason I cannot explain, the Zakoramite enemies were running away from me. Is there some deepest lore hidden here? Anyways, that's for some other guy to talk about. I'm here to bash Mephisto in the face with my Holy Shield. The fight was uneventful, and I thought we would have a nearly perfect run, but I got sucker punched by the bastard, which took me from half health. Another proof that resistances are key for survival. And now for the creme de la creme, Act 4, Hell. Definitely the shortest act for people who haven't never played Diablo before. We just got 3 quests and a handful of locales to visit before we can meet the Lord of Terror. first things first, time to smite. Anyways, the fight is nothing serious. Usually, Izuo is more of a roadblock than a challenge, which gives us a false sense of security. And then we go to Arizona, where the weather is quite adequate and the people are welcoming. Among this hellscape, we can find the forge of Hephaestus the Armorer, the demonic blacksmith. Well, the only thing being smitten today is his face. And as per usual, I'm not looking for any runes to drop, cause I don't know no rune words. Sorry. And now, the last stop in Act 4, the Chaos Sanctuary, where under 5 seals lies our adversary. The fight will be epic, showing our skills, years of experience to fight the devil himself. So, that was a thing. Unfortunately, we had another flip here, cause I was curious if I would be able to withstand the lightning hose attack. Apparently I'm not. And now, last but not least, Act 5. The side of Mount Ararat, where the World Stone resides. If you want some more lore next time, drop a comment, maybe I'll squeeze something in. But let's not get distracted and say hello to Shank the Overseer. Then we run straight towards Anya to save her, because we are so cool. And then we avenge her imprisonment with Niklachtak. And as we're on a roll, we go for the Ancients. With our new Paladin shield, there are no match for the strong left arm of justice. I needed to play a bit cat and mouse with them, but in the end, we were able to come back with our shield instead of on it. And now the last encounter. I was a bit skeptical about how it's going to work out, especially since we are not specialized in groups of enemies. So, for your fun and to show my usual approach to strong enemy groups during this run, I've decided to show it to you as it was, but with some fast forwarding. That took some time. But it was time for Baal, which got me worried. But it was in fact the easiest fight in the game for the smite. So I don't want to bore you with the details, but I'm going to put some stats over here for you to see. All in all, this was a cool challenge, which I thought would take me longer, especially that I saw the health stats of endgame bosses. But in the end, we managed to go through it. For everyone who managed to get this far, thank you. If you like this content, please drop a like, sub, and all that fun stuff. I've got more ideas coming your way. Feel free to drop some challenge ideas, not just for Diablo. I'm open for suggestions. I'm currently working on a couple of things, and trust me, the suffering does begun. If you want to hang out, I stream every Saturday here on YouTube. Will be awesome to see you next time. But for now, this was the Wereduck. Have a beautiful